What doesn't make sense to you? When people don't want the world to become a better place because they had it hard, so now everyone, until the end of time, should have it just as hard. Because that's somehow fair or something. I had a coworker who grew up in a different country and moved here when she was an early teen. She said her dad would bounce between, "We left everything and came here to give you a better life. And you have it too easy. Back in my day we had to do X to get Y." When you give someone verifiable evidence that they're wrong, but they don't believe you because they don't feel like it. And I'm not talking about something that could be Dr. Rare's ancient history. I'm talking about things like a certain law being on the books, and showing them it on a state or federal website, and they still don't believe you. I have a friend like this, and from what I can tell it's a pride thing. In their mind, them being wrong means you won, and are better than them. Monsieur, it does not mean that truth prevailed. It means that their pride was injured and they are below you in the knowledge hierarchy now. Them refusing to believe you doesn't reflect badly on them in their mind. It's them holding on to their pride. Actual truth be damned. They'll be taken to the grave before they admit defeat. Because to them, being wrong is not simply an opportunity to be educated for the future. It's being defeated. People will drive in rain at night in a black vehicle without headlights on. "I don't need the lights, I can see just fine." Quote, "I don't see what the problem is." "Of course you don't, you can't see a thing." Quote, people who ask questions on Reddit ***** that would be answered more accurately and quickly with Google or Wikipedia, ********* tried to make the important bit more conspicuous, since a few people seem to have overlooked it in favor of being unnecessarily argumentative. Some people just want a human to answer, I think, why America can't have the same measurement system as the rest of the world. Because it would be expensive and difficult to change every road sign in the country to metric. Why people deny science. How airplanes fly. Yeah. Bernoulli's principle. Lift. Air moving fasting over the curved part of the airfoil. Etc. I understand the principle involved. But seriously, it's a metal tube with flat sticks that somehow make it stay up? Confession. My father is a glider pilot. I've flown in them since I was a child. And it still makes no sense. Must be magic. Arthur Weasley's dearest wish. Start by imagining a rotating fan. Pretty easy to understand. Right. The fan spins and air moves. Great. Now imagine a fan that isn't fixed to the ground. Instead, let's attach it to a helicopter or a boat. This is a propeller. The propeller spins, pushes air, or water, and moves the vehicle in the opposite direction. A helicopter stays up by pushing air down. A ship moves forward by pushing water backwards. Now, let's get really crazy. What if we made a propeller that didn't spin? Could a straight fan still push air? Well, yes, if you moved it through the air fast enough. That's an airfoil. The wings of a plane are just fin blades that push air down so that the plane stays up. TLDR, a plane is a giant fan that goes fast so that it can push down a lot of air to stay up. This is probably the best way you can describe this, and I will use it to explain it from now on. People who aggressively demand eye contact in a conversation, and call me disrespectful for not maintaining uncomfortable eye contact during every syllable spoken. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Don't use my insecurities as a means to say I'm disrespectful, because you're disrespectful. Plus, the world doesn't revolve around you. I struggle to make eye contact too. Why is that? It's like super uncomfortable to me. And I always look at people's lips or nose instead. Why are we like this? Same. I have a hard time looking at someone in the eyes when we're talking and always end up looking at their nose or mouth. I have no idea why we do this. Honestly, people who feel the need to demand respect get less from me. You get the same amount of respect as everyone else until you prove otherwise. How Dick is short for Richard. Richard equals Rick equals Dick equals Dick. Also, William equals Will equals Bill. Blame Old English for not updating the naming schemes. Greater than Rick equals Dick. It's this step that doesn't really make sense to me. For female version, Margaret equals Peggy. Why companies can't be happy with some profit versus all the profit. I work for such a company. Every year we have a large meeting just after New Year. Essentially it's a brag show about how much profit they made last year. And how much more they're going to make this year. Ugh. We're now not allowed to work from home anymore because somehow everyone needs to be present. No more extra pay. They were having some losses. No shit. Everyone is. The fact that we cut down birds' houses to make birdhouses. The bird doesn't know what's good for it. It will sit in our tiny cube houses instead. How all information online, even what you're reading here, is just a bunch of ones and zeros. When you think about it, all stored information is coded. Language is a code. DNA is a code. Perhaps the universe itself is stored information in some sense. Cancel culture. I don't get how people can ruin someone's life that they don't even know. Often for a single mistake. And then applaud themselves for being woke as opposed to the hateful monsters they are. Homophobic and racist people. Friend of mine has told me his boss has said, and I quote, "I know it's wrong to be racist, but I hate those slurs too much not to be. I am as amazed as you people like that are real and live in the same world I do and vote." I don't find it very hard to understand. Mind you, I'm neither homophobic nor racist, but it is pretty clear that human beings have highly evolved senses of revulsion to sexual deviance, homophobia, and an in-group preferential bias. Racism. It is natural for an ignorant heterosexual person to feel a gut reaction of disgust toward homosexuality, and it takes education to be able to overcome and accept it. It is natural for an ignorant person to feel a gut reaction of distrust toward people that look different than their own tribe, and it takes education to overcome it. But kids don't naturally react that way unless their parents do. Bigotry is taught, just like most things with humans. The origins of disgust are unclear. We can and should aim to educate. But let's not kid ourselves. Some people are just prone to disgust the same way that some are prone to anxiety. We can't police how people feel, but we can stand against the consequences of it. Having a gut feeling or automatic thoughts isn't an evil if they're not realized. It seems unlikely to me that the first racist was taught to think that. Why anything exists at all? 42. That's actually a really deep question. The answer is we don't know. When you give evidence of a door cam of package theft with a thief's face on full view, add asterisk, they can't do anything about it asterisk. Oh well, just put a glitter bomb outside. The police is and has always been an establishment dedicated to enforce a government's wishes. People pretending that they protect anyone but their bosses are very clearly not paying attention. I'm still trying to figure out why Melania Trump copied Michelle Obama's speech at the Republican convention. And it wasn't just similarities. There were sections that were word for word copied, and she deliberately put those parts in. It wasn't a speech that was handed to her. So the question I don't understand is, 1. Was she so clueless about politics that she didn't know that a Republican copying a Democrat's speech would raise a controversy? 2. Was she trying to subtly sabotage or undermine Trump? 3. Anything else? I just can't figure it out. I may be, probably, wrong, but I thought it was people in her team that recycled the speech. It was still an idiotic move either way. My kids watch 20-somethings playing Minecraft on YouTube. Alright, I get it. It's like the new TV. But I don't get these 20-somethings reactions to the most mundane things in the game. Like they blow up some TNT in the game and then scream their head off like it was the craziest thing they've seen in their life. Why so much screaming? Because it gets your kids to watch them. Those Minecraft YouTubers know their audience is children such as your own. If something loud and colorful doesn't happen for 5 seconds, They know the kids will click off the video and they'll lose valuable dollars of watch time. They need to make the most mundane things loud so kids keep watching. In short, kids have fast attention spans. It gets the kids going. Hype. To get that rush. It's just different levels of enthusiasm and enjoyment. Like watching a high-tension moment in a sport, the caster will go off and start screaming. Same but on a smaller scale. Love. People who decide not to vaccinate their kids. Animal cruelty. Electricity. No matter what age, I've studied it in school. And I'm now in college. I always can't wrap my head around all the concepts of it. Like, why the hell is electricity even a thing? Where and how do charges come about and work? It's the passing of electrons along metal. What's really weird is that there may in fact be only one electron ever. It's just bound to laws to time, allowing it to be everywhere simultaneously. Welcome to the machine. I'm a civil engineering student. Whenever I look over at ease and the work that they do, I become convinced that they either 1. Have no idea what the hell they're talking about, or 2. Are wizards. Dark German TV series. So awesome and complex and well acted. But I'm often pausing, rewinding, etc. to keep up with the characters and plot. I have to keep a chart next to me as I'm watching. Wait, who's that guy? Single quote. Wait, what year are we in? Single quote. Great show. Haha, you sound like me. Wait, are you me? How much is a peck, and where the hell is he getting all those peppers? A peck is 1/4 of a bushel. Who has that many peppers? Where is he getting them from? Also, if they can't chuck wood, why do we care how much they would chuck if they could? I also think she's selling a lot more than seashells on that beach. 1. A peck is 8 dry quarts. 2. Peter Piper picked those peppers. I hope it's from his own damn garden, because I'm not putting up with that kind of neighbor again. From the pepper picking plantation, perhaps? Damn well better be. How people care more about dying and starving animals than dying and starving people. Because humans bad, doggo good. Because animals are viewed as innocent beings who can do no harm and only want to be loved, while humans are viewed as flawed, selfish, and evil. Therefore the suffering of humans is justifiable in their eyes. People call it a cold. If your temperature goes up, shouldn't it be called a hot? Nah, it's called the cold because your body feels cold. More relatable and easier to explain to children. Because you catch a cold, and your body's response is to fight it off by getting warmer. How someone can watch a person die by hungry, or barely have a house, and do nothing, even having a lot of money. And what don't make sense to me, it's usually those person or artist. Sportists praised by millions. Handshakes. Do we really still need to check if your business partner has a dagger hidden under his sleeve? And people are underscore disgusting. Underscore not washing their hands after using the restroom and all. Women equally as bad as the men I've heard about. It's worst when the person's hand is sweaty, and they just fapped. The fact that we still get skin cancer from the sun, and that we can't drink seawater. It just, why? All life lessons repeat themselves over and over through all sorts of mediums to much of a good thing is toxic. Welcome to the machine. That people say it's my opinion as an excuse to be an asshole. Sure, everyone has their own opinion. But what happened to the saying, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all? Greater than if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. That's terrible advice in plenty of circumstances. For example, when arguing with an anti-vaxxer, poor people making children without thinking about his or her future or how the fuck they are gonna raise them is you're so stupid. Chewbacca is a Wookiee from the planet Kashyyyk, but Chewbacca lives on the planet Endor. Now, think about that. That does not make sense. Why would a Wookiee, an 8-foot-tall Wookiee, want to live on Endor with a bunch of 2-foot-tall Ewoks? That does not make sense. What does that have to do with this case? Nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, it has nothing to do with this case. It does not make sense. None of this makes sense. If Chewbacca lives on Endor, you must acquit. The defense rests, damn it, to be the first pick in the Endor NBA draft. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.